when we started the project, there was a very strong antagonism on the part of the kids toward the staff, and a very strong desire that was stated very openly to us that we don't want to work with them. We want to be separate. If you want to work with us, okay, but we don't want to be integrated with them, and we're not going to say anything in front of them. And that was the strong message.
And then I drew the arrow going to St. Paul's group home in different colors as sort of a transition, that the girls would make a transition to a group home setting which has some characteristics of the institution. That's why I made the windows kind of the same. But it's also a home type setting. And you can see the girl looks a little bit more happier than the girl from the institution. And then coming from St. Paul's group home, I have the community with the hope and vision that the girl will make it over here, having went through the whole transition from the institution to the group home into the community into this well-rounded individual.
We have 3 homes that are here, just our basic homes, and I have different colors for the girls because one thing I see that we have a lot of diversity in our homes. We don't discriminate anything at all. And I have a sun here. This sun represents, you see there's 3 people in the sun, the one with the hair, and you see that they all have hearts, and their hearts are bigger than themselves, because that's one thing that I've seen, that the organization, as far as the CEO, CFO, and the administrator, which is myself, our heart is bigger than what you see. Sometimes the girls don't understand that. And I put in the sun just right over them to let them know we'll always be watching over them, and with the 3 homes.
These are like what the words stand for. Sharing, togetherness, patience, assistance, and appreciation. U for understanding, L for love, S for safe haven, and sweet home.
We did this activity that's called the scarf throw. And the way that that worked is that I have all these beautiful fabrics, all different colors and textures and so forth. And what they were to do is to pick up a fabric, and as they pick that up, then they throw it in the center of the room, and then they say something that they appreciate about somebody, or some concern or hope they have for somebody, or even a hope they have for themselves. And it just worked beautifully. It just seemed to be the invitation that they needed to be able to express how they were feeling.
No basketball time. Diaries, paper, pen, whenever telling you how much I care for you. You always have my back when I don't really need you. When I'm mad, sad, crying, feel very hurt deep inside, you keep pushing me so I can talk to you. Yeah, we get on my nerve. Yeah, we play too much, and we always get in trouble. But see, the staff always back us up, so we never get a restriction. We do a lot for each other. When we're mad at each other, we come back as, blood, family, I've been through some stuff. Sometimes I just can't tell you, but you feel me, even though you can't knock on wood, but you still feel me. You like a brother, you like an angel, a prayer that I've been waiting for so long. Like another Jesus that's just right there that has my back. When something go down, you bust, we bust. We bust together. When you cry, I'll be right there to lean on me, like I was yours.
Sure. Whose is it? Of course you can. Pat. Okay.
Oh, the colors.
I love you like my sister, but I hate the way you act. I hate it. I try to help you. You don't want to help.
Oh.
You act up, and where you sit.
Oh, no.
want you to I want you to go to college. I want you to graduate. But the path that you try to follow, it ain't cool. And I put the black scarf down on the floor because every time I try to help you, it seems like it's just, you don't care. It's just dark. It's just dark. I hate it that you don't listen. I know I can't change you in one day, but I try. And I just hate that you act up so bad. And I hate it that you get in trouble. I just hate it. It breaks my heart that when I tell you stuff, you don't listen. But she's supposed to be like my sister. And my sister, when I tell her stuff, she listens. And I know I ain't the greatest person in the world, but I try to be as good as I can, and I want to make it in this world, and I want you to make it with me.
They probably won't think so, but I have been thinking about straightening up and willing to do better. And for the people who think that I let them down, don't think that, because I'm gonna get back on my feet and do what I'm supposed to do. Not just to make you happy, but to make me happy too.
But then even more exciting was when we got to the interactive part, and these are the living sculptures. And it's just like a zoom of energy filled the room. And these people got up and they were laughing and talking to each other and animated and just so excited to be doing this. And I thought, oh, this is wonderful.
I don't know, every girl in there has to have the strength just to make it in life every day. To deal with the streets, to deal with school, to deal with placement, no family life. How can you ever tell a kid how to deal with that? A sheep herder leading the sheep.
Oh, so these are the sheep, and she's the herder. So
Amen.
If you get them in
Like you
the
have your staff.
posture, you want to go
There you go.
got a staff.
Y'all can say bad.
Okay, this is the ladder of success. Start from the ground, build your way up.
Oh, that's right.
We work as a team from house to house. We all do it. It's all of us. We are the strength of St. Paul's. Because if we were not there to be consistent, to talk to them, to whatever, what would they do? What would they have?
We are the world or something.
We are the world.
We are the world.
Oh, she wants to walk.
We are the children. We are the world to make a better place. So let's start living.
Okay.
And then sometimes I say, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to try again. That's the way I deal with it. Sometimes I just say, I have to try. I have to keep trying.
Yeah.
But I say, I'm not going to give up.
If you give up, you're not just giving up on yourself, you're giving up for the people that, look up to you. People that you're responsible for.
And that's our burden.
Okay.
Like that idea.
Now, come take a look at that and see if that reflects everything that you want.
Yes.
This is a healthy family because you're speaking your truth.
People are just here to be who we are, not to be who we try to be, or who likes us the best. But from now on, for the few weeks that we're gonna be here, try to make the best of it.
I'm glad we are here. So the people who is not in our situation can really find out how we really feel about being in the system, so they can learn. So when they see somebody on the street saying that they was in the system, they don't look down on them like so many people do, because they look down on us because we're in a group home or in a foster home, or even in the system.
What was said today, from my mouth, it really wasn't nothing. It was nothing to what else I have to say to y'all.
Your words are very helpful to other people who are not in the situation. And I also respect the fact that you guys spoke your truth today, even though you might have been afraid to do that. You spoke it out. And that means that you care, even if you're mad with one another sometimes or things happen, that you care enough to speak your truth. And one person said maybe some people look down on kids who are in the system. And I want to tell you, from our end of it, we have nothing but the greatest respect for you.
What I'm thinking of is a vision for the future. Like, what would your hope be for St. Paul's Group Home in the future? What would be your vision?
6 girls graduate from high school, maybe 12. Not just one out of 18 or 12.
To see the staff continue to be cohesive, and that we continue to employ skillful, open-minded staff. I would like to see that continue to happen.
Things that we want to go into with, as far as St. Paul's Group Home, taking a more holistic approach as far as education, recreation. We want to be able to have all the young ladies be able to access that.
On the first day at the end, we did a Narradrama technique, which is called the living mural. And the way that it works is that people were allowed to come to that mural and express anything that they wanted, and we had paper like all over the place. It was like taped up to the walls, and so you could kind of find the place that you wanted to do that. And you could say anything that you wanted, and it was also a way of getting the staff and the kids to have an opportunity, even though they didn't meet together, they did the mural together. And that was a nice kind of foretelling of what was going to happen in the future. What I was most impressed with in the staff, I sure felt their sense of family and caring. Because the two things that they were mentioning, and we did a lot of different things in there, but they said that one thing that they felt made St. Paul's Group Home different was the fact that it was like an extended family. It's not just a business. And the teamwork, that they're really there for each other.
These young ladies were, first of all, they were very open. And they, one of the things that struck me was the strength that they had. And the, just kind of this fierce independence, which you see a lot of times with kids that have been displaced or have had to kind of go it on their own. But there was a lot of conversations about not giving in to negative things that came at them.
The kind of interaction and the kind of base that Narradrama comes from is a very invitational base, and it's a very non-expert, a very collaborative base. And I felt that by giving people a chance to express their voices, which they don't often have in a group home setting, and have the opportunity as well to look at a number of these different Narradrama exercises and kind of try them on for size. If you'd like to try that out, you can. It's an invitation. But you don't have to, and you can sit and you can watch and you can participate as you will.
Right? Do you remember some of the things that you said about where you want to be? Anybody?
Some of you guys talked about what you thought you would be doing for a living.
No, I don't remember that. Me neither. I don't recall that. I don't think that we're like talking about this every Sunday. I'm telling you, for real, it's gonna cause problems. Because it gets frustrating. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't know.
I mean, like if you could change one thing in the group home.
Oh my God, what does it matter that we're in a group home? We just in a group home.
Right.
It don't matter.
But that's why we're here.
In a group home, like I said.
Can go.
Me too. Can we go home?
There's been a lot of frustration today. So
If there's something you'd like to write now and get it out in a symbol or in some art form, or write it out, this is for your own personal thing.
We can write anything down there?
Anything that you want.
the first first thing that we wrote about, all the, like, the anger and the negative stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what we thought we'd do is to do like a, you know what a group sculpture is? Expressing those feelings. What would that look like as a group?
It just is more like your positive feelings.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be about anything.
Yes. It can be about anybody. So what happens on a good day in your group home?
Nothing.
What is
It ain't no good
when you
day.
gone? When you
It's
gone?
never a good day.
When you
Locked
gone on
in.
past?
All right, what?
Some people have fun on a good day. They have good attitudes when they have one.
I mean, I guess we make our house fun.
If you were able to run the group home, I'd like to know what you'd like to have. Would you like to have your allowance up front? Would you like to have more freedom? What would your curfew be?
If you sick and you miss school one day a week, you get $3.50.
I'ma buy lunch for myself every week.
At my school, we don't get free lunch, so I have to buy lunch.
This is about having a higher allowance, correct? What do you think would be a proper amount of money if you wanted to get
No,
your...
at least $25 a week.
For every month, the exact day that you come, the next month, the exact day, get your cousin out.
Yes,
Yes.
because they don't
We
do
really
that.
need clothes.
They say we have to
I
wait
need
till the
socks.
end of the month to get
Like,
a
but this 30 days, if you were on a group home for a week, what would you do?
The way I would do it is if as people showed responsibility or whatever, I would give them more freedoms according to their ability to show responsibility that they could handle it. So I would like to let somebody go to the store if I knew that I could, they were going to be responsible to come back. I would give freedom and responsibility according to what people earned.
curfew. It gotta change. I mean, if you're a certain age, just put the curfew depending on your age and, like she said, how responsible you are. Not just because everybody who come in the house gotta come in the house at 6 o'clock on Saturdays. And I'm 17. What are you talking about?
I would want to know the kinds of things that you're talking about right now, because the thing that I've felt being in group homes that has disturbed me the most is that there doesn't seem to be enough freedom. I mean, and the other thing is the use of time. It doesn't seem to be enough opportunities to be able to do things.
Can I ask one of you to get up, or two of you to be staff? And can I have one person who is entering into the group home brand new, and let's see how that goes.
Hi.
Welcome to the hood home.
Elizabeth, I'm bringing her here today.
No, you're really scared now. Terrified.
No, don't be scared. Nobody's gonna hurt you. This is a safe place. This is your roommate.
Hi.
What's up? What you doing?
That's nice.
Be like, what is the big?
How you doing?
Your roommate right there?
I'm Elizabeth. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. This is my roommate, y'all.
Ladies, what advice can you give me? Because I gotta tell you, I'm freaking out a little bit.
Keep it cool, copacetic, calm, and collective, and keep your eyes open.
Watch your back.
Don't be scared of nobody.
Well, thanks for being so warm and welcoming. I really appreciate it.
Are you hungry?
I am hungry.
Go in the refrigerator.
Thank you.
I'll make lunch for you guys.
You will.
Come on, let's go make some cheeseburgers, some hamburgers. You know what I'm saying?
We started out as separate groups, that meeting, again, respecting the wishes of the kids. But there were some kids that wanted to bridge that. One in particular asked if she could go into the staff room and be the representative for the kids. And I thought, oh, what a great idea this is. What a wonderful transition to be able to get the kids and the staff working together. And so that's what happened. This girl went into the other room and started working. And then not long after that, there were a couple other kids that joined her in that room. And that was the beginning of this transition to the staff and the kids working together.
But you know what? Let me say something. We got a staff that take us out and take us for a walk. All of us. Do you know that they make complaints about her taking us out to go take a walk?
It's like we follow the rules when she around. Most of the time we don't follow the rules. Don't nobody have to lie. I don't care about their rules.
But when she here, I follow the rules. I do what I gotta do because she respect me.
Would one of you be willing to play the role of the staff member just for a moment?
Nobody can be like Sean. I can be her.
Who? All right.
Ashley? Sean,
Could you be her?
yeah, she a G, man.
Could you be her?
Yeah. I mean, these kids, they gonna do whatever they wanna do no matter what. So you just gotta talk to them. You don't yell at them. You don't try to stick restriction on them. You don't do nothing like that. If the kids say, "Oh, I don't want to eat," you go and you help them go cook something else. Or you go and if you see something's wrong with that kid, then you sit there and talk to him or them. You don't try to sit there and try to yell at them and try to stick some restriction on them.
Because you know what I heard, some of the girls were saying about you that they really, that they really want to do the right things when they're around you because, I guess they respect you so much that they just, they just feel like they want to do what they need to do.
Because I respect their space.
Right, and so you got that mutual respect going on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for talking to me. I really appreciate it. I think what you've said is very, very helpful.
Thank you. You're welcome.
There was an opportunity to externalize an obstacle or a problem. And there are different ways when you're working with externalization. And one was these marker boards that were already available in this room, which were very handy, and so we used them. And then we had scarves as well. And we had a bunch of objects, because sometimes if you provide a number of different materials, you have more invitations for things to happen.
This is a squirrel, this is the roadrunner, and these are my residents. And they're bound by the inability to communicate, to express themselves, to be effective at saying what they really mean without being coming across aggressive or harsh. So that's why he's bound by the ropes, and the coyote is bound by the scarf. And this is their present state. It's not bad. It's not horrible where they are, because they can function. It is workable. But if they do learn how to effectively communicate and express their feelings, they can move to so much more, and all things are possible.
My views may be different than the views that I have with foster children, because they haven't had that family union. They live with their aunts, their uncles, their grandma, but I've lived with my family my whole life. So for me, sometimes I find it difficult because I've been given so much, and it's hard for me to go back and say, why don't you understand? We were all born here, why can't you just get it? I've got a lot of experience, not because I learn from different people, but because I see what's inside of me that can also be in you. And that's why I put here, to whom much is given, much is required. One thing that I see a lot with my girls, especially, is that they have a lot going on. So this is like one entity. So they have a lot going on in their minds. No one's knowing. You walk in, you see them. Oh, so they have a lot of colors. So they're all right. It's kind of in order. But when you start, when you basically just start looking to see what you want in your life, then more and more can come out of you. More and more can come out of you. And basically, I illustrated that to show that although you may be one entity, there's so much more inside of you that you can bring out to the world and share with others.
All of us are different. All of us have different things inside of us that make us ourselves. And these cloths represent those differences. And even though all of us have something in common, we all have very different people who have been through different things. This cloth represents, how the group home can hold us back at times.
Or the system, period.
The system, period. Yes. So, we all have to learn
To overcome it,
work our way around it to be ourselves. So even though we still have the system there, fighting against us, we still have our own ways of being ourselves.
The reason why I picked this color, because it makes you see, okay, you either go to the light or just stay in the dark. And the dark is like, you don't want to do nothing. You don't care about school, you don't care about your life, you don't care about nothing. And you don't feel like open up to anybody. So if you keep it to yourself, sometimes that's good if you keep it to yourself. Or just write it down on something. Light means, okay, you coming closer to what you want to achieve or what you want to do. So just think about stuff you should do before you start reacting. Because see, I know I do a lot of stuff. I might not listen, I might not do this, I might not do that. But then it all comes back to you like, dang, I can't go to this party because I didn't clean my room. Just a little piece of paper on the floor and I couldn't clean that up. Now I can't go hang out with my friend. Because you did something else, started listening to your parents, just want to hang out instead of cleaning up your room. And cleaning your room is nothing.
One really wonderful thing that happened here, a number of wonderful things happened, but the thing that I liked almost the best is how some of these children wanted to gravitate to that other room and mix in with the staff.
The question was asked, if you're a goody two-shoes, do you get slammed done? And they all echo, you know, yeah, if you follow the rules and you're ambitious and you know where you're going and you're focused and you say no to all the distractions and temptations, then you get outcast.
There was a lot of anger in our group on two levels. One, the restrictions and the rules and certain staff, and then the other between the kids.
They really would tell, they were outright, we don't want to be here, why are we here, why
Yeah,
are we
we
here?
don't want to be here. We don't know why we have to be here, they're making us be here.
Talking about the same thing again.
And the neat thing about the anger was the two girls that were expressing the most anger and saying that we don't want to be here contributed the most. You notice, I mean, they just kept talking and sharing what they were feeling. And part of the sharing was, I don't want to be here. But they were the ones that were the most involved.
Well, one of the Narradrama techniques that is so much fun to do is the preferred scene enactment. And the way that that works is that, first of all, we were looking to see if there was some kind of a scene that either staff or kids or staff or kids together could present that would be a preferred scene, something that they'd like to see happen that was possible. So these activities, now you guys were mentioning we want to do more, you have an opportunity to do some activities because we feel like we're inside a lot. Is that the general theme that I'm hearing here? That
We want to actually go explore the world instead of our house.
I'm trying to see what a scene would look like that would represent a little bit of change.
I'm sorry,
I think we should go to a museum during our study time, that way we're still learning something, but we're not in the house.
Okay, there's a great idea.
I've been to the wax museum.
The wax museum.
The wax museum.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Where have you
Anybody
been?
else been to? But I like this idea. It's like taking education out of the house and it's more of an active kind of learning when you go to a museum and you see things, and it's just a different way of learning. Is it feasible for them all?
And a half.
It is provided that everyone would get dressed on time and be ready, but y'all know how it is getting y'all ready.
No, but that could happen. I mean, we could create a scene that would show that
What are you talking
happening.
about for this?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about for this and for real. We could create a scene of what that would look like to make it possible to go to the mall. Couldn't we?
That's a great idea. I need to go out since we're going to the mall. Wait,
Did you do your chores?
I did all my chores, I did all my homework, and I'm all dressed and ready to
So
go.
you get $5.
Oh my
Really?
God.
I did my homework, I did my chores, my makeup's almost done, I'm ready. Woo!
Okay.
Hurry up and just make up so we can go. Okay, wait.
You guys are 50.
Hold on. Hurry up, please, okay? Big time! Is it busy? Okay, come on. What is it, 6 o'clock? I'm here in an hour and a half, right? Woo! Hurry up, woo! Let's go. Oh, the dress is in the window. Oh my God. Oh, okay.
Remember before we go in the mall, no stealing, police contact.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Look at her
Can
hair.
I take this from the mannequin? That's so pretty. Oh my God, I like this shirt. Thought I would be famous. Oh my God. I'm loving this shirt right here.
Like it? Yeah. Let me see.
That
is
beautiful. Don't kick me.
Look. See, look.
How nice it would look on you too.
That'd be beautiful.
It match your hair color too, unbelievable.
That would be beautiful on you. I want to buy that for you.
Time to go, time to go. Yeah.
Thanks for driving us.
Okay, end of scene. Okay, we had the children be videographers, and they could videotape different scenes, and they got the biggest kick out of this. They had so much fun doing that. And when we saw them doing that, it broke down some of these barriers. And so it just opened more space. It opened more visions of a story. It opened more energy. And so it was very exciting.
If I had a video camera, I'd like to make a video story about my life, my childhood dreams.
And working along with the staff and residents together and do some kind of we could do a scene, we could do a theme of dreams come true. We could have, and how this, we could talk to the staff and how, dreams that they have and dreams that you have, and we could each use each other in the group to perform our dreams.
I like to finish high school, go to college for 8 years to be an attorney.
I want to be a nurse. I want to continue our group homes. Hopefully we make it just to one big group home, so it'll be a bigger facility with more, like maybe 18 beds. I'm not really sure. I'll continue to be the administrator, hopefully CEO, depending on my parents retire, whenever they do. And my career is actually to be physician assistant. I went to school for that. I'm studying to take my boards. So I want to be a primary care physician assistant.
Well, not big, exactly model stuff, but I like to model for other states and countries.
Supermodel.
Designs by Monique.
Okay.
Monique, designer. Maria, model. Shante, model. Amber, camera maker.
Purple plunging neckline with the side out and the nice length dress.
Welcome to Reaction Incorporated.
Hi, let's go ahead and sign in. My other reception's not in today, but you'll be able to see that the nurse is in today. Okay? Thank you. Just go ahead and have a seat.
Think the baby's overdue?
Yeah.
Someone call 911.
It's not coming, St. Paul. It's not coming. Go ahead, sign. I trust you.
Push.
Push. No, breathe first. Okay, now push. Okay, there's your baby.
Well, the body drawings is a interesting Narradrama technique. And the way that it works is that you have these large sheets of butcher paper, and what you'll do is you'll draw their body as they're laying on these large sheets of paper, and then they fill in their body drawing with, it's a number of different ways you can do it, but they can fill it in with a kind of the way they see themselves or the way they'd like to see themselves, or they could fill in some particular externalized conflicts that they may see in themselves, but it all gets put on the art. It gets put in the body drawing, so it's another form of externalization.
Drew me as an RN, a registered nurse, and I drew the hospital where I can help people, and I also drew a federal court building where I currently work, and I drew some medications. I drew my family and peace, joy. These are some of the emotions that I'm feeling in my future. Dreams, prosperity, and that's basically it right now.
Right here, which is the grave. Right here, I have love, that's spelled right here. I have loyalty, I have peace. And right there, the organs and stuff, those are my instincts and stuff. Like I want family in my life, I want laughter. I want to be a beautician. In order to be that, I have to be bold and I have to be nice. And I also want to be happy. And here, I have a split personality in my own little world. Everything up here on one side is dark. And on the red side, everything in here is what I'm trying to be. This part of the brain is so big, this part of the brain is so small. Because I have to overcome all of this to get to that.
Her ink spill right there. She's famous for that too. She's like, what's that guy's name? Thomas Jefferson? Oh, Thomas Jefferson. She's just like him. She's like, girl. She's a baby much more. Instead of the people that get her
I think one of the things we're building now is trust. I think, having fun and playing together, we're building a better rapport, so now we can go, we can move somewhere. I think it's hard when you don't have some kind of trust building to really do anything,
They got to externalize the internal type of dream and make it a little bit bigger.
But
That's so exciting.
The thing that I loved about it was they were having fun.
Yeah.
That, to me, was worth it all.
There's real strength in community when a community is working together. And we were hoping to provide, through using Narradrama, some actual illustrations of ways that the community could work together. And of course, these weren't our ideas. The community came up with all the scenes, all the different things that they did. These were their particular ideas. Narradrama just provided a form that they could put these ideas in and maybe look at them in a little bit different way. We'd like to just do some simple kind of fun warm-ups just to kind of get you out of your seat for a few minutes. And the way this would work, if you can imagine a line that went from like here over to here, just say a line that goes across the room. At this end of the line, let's say that if you like rap, and you like, what's the other term? Hip hop and rap a lot, then you stand here. If you just like it sort of medium, you stand here. And if you don't like it at all, you stand over here. But everybody needs to make a choice, including staff.
The hip hop, rap, and R&B. Just be our staff going over there. And cut.
If you think that most people, you have to really listen to this question, see your strengths. You all have strengths. If you think most people see them, you stand over here. If you think 50% of the people you know see them, stand over here. If you think people don't see them, stand over here. I'm like this thing.
Oh, I'm in the middle of these two. If you think this can help you in some way, put it up, come over here. If you think it'll help you a little bit, come over here. Like, if you think this ain't gonna help you at all, go over there. Go to the side. Okay, right here. Good job, I'm gonna get you over there. I'm gonna come over here.
What do you guys hope for the future? And what would be an example of a future scene? We could do yours, Damien, too.
She's an anesthesiologist. She's behind the monitor.
Okay. And so this patient's about to have some kind of an operation.
Exactly.
I see. And how does this fit into your future? Where do you see yourself in this scene? If you were to place yourself in this scene, who would you be?
The anesthesia.
So why don't you switch roles for a moment?
Patient care.
Patient care. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right.
I'm glad that we can all express what we want to be and staff to, what we want to be in life, and what we're trying to work up to, and how we can just get up here and express our feelings and the future that we want to have, or the future that we wish to have, that we dream of every day or once in a while. And pretty much that's it. Struggle between love and hate with myself. That's my title.
Why are you always saying no to me? I have such great ideas. I just need to hear yes.
Great ideas like what?
Like I want to be a beautician. I want to be a nice person. I want
You
a
want to
family.
be there?
Yeah,
What
I
you
want
gonna get with that?
I don't know, I just love hair. I love to make people look beautiful.
You can
What's
do your
wrong?
own hair. Why would you let people?
I will do my own hair, but I want to do other people's hair. I want to have friends at the salon and manicures and pedicures.
That means you have to go to the store. That means you have to go to school. That means you have to you have to do good in class. It's not gonna work out.
Why not? Why can't I do that? Why do
Because
you
we
say
can go
no?
out to parties. We can have a good time.
We can do that too, but I want to do other things as well. I want to have a good time, but I also want to be responsible.
Okay, you can sit down and talk to me. I'll listen to you, and you listen to me, so we can get to a compromise.
Sounds like a plan.
You gotta see a dream, the really good attention of a dream case, you gotta dream it, want it, and do it for your dreams to come true. Because if you want to be like making a lot of money like the president or something like that, you just can't dream it because you dream it, you don't just push yourself back there. So the best thing is to do all three of those codes. You gotta really do it.
Love and the sound of beautiful music coming together and somebody in between it to really make the music and the voice sound more alive.
I think we need a singer. We need a really good rap singer. It's fine to do instrumental. We're all very talented, granted, but we need somebody really good to bring it together. Do you know anyone?
Well, I talked to this young lady like 2 weeks ago. She has a nice voice.
Yeah?
She can rap, she can sing.
She talented?
Yes, but I want to see which y'all like.
I really hope she's good.
You're going to see.
You know, people say they're good and then they're, Hey. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hey, nice
Elise?
meeting you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Liz.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing? Hey, nice to meeting you. I have good things about you.
D. Davidson on the drums.
So I'm just letting all y'all know, dreams could come true. Like my dream came true. But I'm not on video yet, but someday. This is my song for 2005.
You guys that came up, you were so great in terms of supporting these particular scenes. You had a really positive attitude. You maybe took roles sometimes that weren't that comfortable, but you just got right in there and you did it, and you were so supportive of the people whose scenes these were. And I really appreciated that.
It's really brave to put out those parts of yourself. So I want to acknowledge how brave that was and how beautiful it was to be a part of it. For me, I really appreciate you bringing me in and making me a part of that.
All right. Does anybody else have another wish for the future that they could enact? That was like a dream, a future scene, something that they'd like to see happen in the future.
No, I got 2 kids and 2 grandchildren. They come to visit and spend the day with me at Christmas. Okay, I'm going to pick up the children. Cheese! 1, 2, 3. Cheese!
We did an informal presentation, and the staff and the kids both had an opportunity to be a part of a scene that they would like to do. And these scenes could be like a dream or a hope for the future. It could be sharing a talent that they had. And some of the things that happened were, well, one, we had these great talk shows. There were some really interesting themes that developed on these talk shows that were very relevant to the kids. But this gave them the opportunity to be able to talk about these things. And so I thought that was a great development to do these talk shows. And then we had an example of a future profession. This happened to be a modeling scene. And it was fun because I was actually a participant in that scene. Then we saw another profession of one of the girls that had wanted to be a hairdresser, and so there was a scene that showed that. And it was fun to see her actually in that environment where she's so hoping to be in her life. And then one of the staff presented some artwork. I never even knew that the staff was so talented with art. And so these were just an example of some of the things that we did for that informal presentation. But we wanted to recognize you one at a time, and anybody can participate by sharing a gift that they think that person has. You can use the fabric to drape them in something that suggests that, or whatever. We just want to recognize each person individually.
The mighty and humble
Danny.
for his her name. And for him being here every Sunday. And for all the good compliments he has given me.
I wanted to recognize Damien too for, I've told him this a couple times, but he is the best sport. I mean, he has been draped in fashion. Fashion show. And he's been so cooperative and so willing to participate, and I really appreciate his sportsmanship. It's really good sportsmanship.
Uh-oh.
Come on, Liz. Stop running, Liz. Come on.
Yeah, this is for you, Liz. Come on, Liz. I couldn't imagine it was a big, but I thought she was and she was talking and she took over the show. There you go. Thank you.
I want to thank Erica because she's always full of energy. She was always animated and willing to participate.
This is for Erica. And I picked these different colors because I think that Erica's very, very creative, and I appreciated her energy in getting ideas for these activities and going right in and starting, and this is her creativity.
I would like to acknowledge Fred Shea and how she's so clear about her strengths, as we saw in her person drawing, the drawing she drew of herself, and I just want to honor that and tell you I wish you the best of luck in your dream of creating some type of beauty shop. So I wish you all the best in your work.
That's the
And I wanted to acknowledge Pat because I know for her it's kind of difficult to participate. It's not her personality to indulge in things like this, and she struggled through it, she worked through it.
You have a quiet way about you, but you were participating in a silent type of way. You did participate, but I felt you very present. You were very honest, and you never jumped in when you felt uncomfortable. You did what was right for you, and I wanted to honor you.
She is a beautiful young woman who is, I can't believe how clear and clear she is about things that she wants in her life.
She's a little girl. And like I would tell her when I was living at 22nd, if she was my little sister, she wouldn't be this way. Because the path that she's going is not the right way. That's why I'm telling every single person in here, if you be here as long as she's here, you guys need to teach her the right path. Because she's 11 years old and she don't need to be doing the things that she's doing. Lots of people think it's her fault, but it's not. She ain't have no kind of role model at all. And that's why I like the way she admires me for the things that I do. And that's why I try to do the right thing so she could follow my path. And that's all I have to say. And she needs to just be good. And people need to stop
looking at her for the wrong things that she's done. They need to look at her for the right thing that she's done.
I went to college with my sister, actually, and I never acknowledged her. Well, I promise you I won't do what I told you, because it's good, gonna be really good. And I'll be good, and I want you to know thank you for being there for me, and for the advice that I give you. I want to acknowledge Divine for always being there for me, and for me to be able to talk to her on things.
For like the longest I've been here, this is really the first or second person I could really talk to. Cause I've been through like ups and downs in here, but people don't know that. For the past week, I went through something. People might think I went through it just to go through it, but I didn't. And she was like the only person there that I could really talk to.